We are recording this webinar just so that everybody can get a copy of it a little later today. So again, we want to welcome you to just get that title, Facebook for Real Estate, Attracting Buyers and Sellers with Facebook. And so we really want to make sure that you can get as much as possible out of this class. So let's talk about sort of where you stand with social networks. So a lot of you, when you registered, told us that you were using Facebook, and there was an interesting balance, especially in real estate, of people that are using Facebook on a personal side and a business side. And we're going to talk about the mix because there are ways to mix this and be highly successful. So as we train and coach people in real estate and mortgage and insurance, we really see in real estate that this is where people probably mix the most, right? They have their friends and their connections and these massive networks. I was looking, and some of you have 2,000, 3,000 friends on Facebook. Actually, type that in. How many friends do you have on Facebook? I just want to see where we're coming in ahead, just so I can get a feel for how our social reach is, just how we are connected together. It is just amazing as I see. So I have people 150, 2,000, 300. And so I'm going to talk, yep, and 20. Some are just starting out, 1,000 plus. Right? And so what we're going to talk about is how to get into relationship with these people no matter what the number is. Because isn't it true, like I would say that if you're a high referral agent out there, broker, you're probably getting a referral a day, or at least a couple of good referrals a week, and the majority of those come from literally 10 or 20% of your network. Now, if you could activate 80% of your network, you would be hiring even more assistants for your office. So, and that's where we want to get you. So, so we want to make sure we take it to that next level. And so let's talk about, sort of how we get to that next level. Now, the issue with social networks, because a lot of us are doing connections and postings and links, and I was looking, and you guys have some great stuff on there, but we also want to make sure that they produce results, because one thing that we study globally is a lot of people are busy, right? A lot of people are busy. Now the challenge with that is that they're busy putting stuff up there, but they're really not producing results, and we really want to get into producing results. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we convert? How do we take it to that next level? Now, like I said, the current use of social networks, the most common use is pushing things out, right? Now that's great. That provides content. We do a ton of that for people. But even on our social media mega pack, where we push out posts and blogs every single day, that helps you get to the top of the search engines. It helps you get seen. It's like having the ultimate chamber membership for all the 25 surrounding chambers, and you have a table with flyers and brochures, and you're represented. But at the end of the day, people, as much as they want to talk to us on your behalf, they still want to talk to you. So we even ask, our social media mega pack clients to play with us, to be online with us. That's why we give unlimited education to any of our servicing clients, because we want you to engage. Even if it's like 2 minutes a day, we want you to log in and just talk to people, okay? Because social networks are social, right? And they work better when they're interactive. That's how you build relationship and trust and connections. And then everybody's like, "Whoa, Dean, I'm getting overwhelmed here. I really just need to, be out on the street and doing my, showings and things like that, right?" And we're just like, "Well, we just want you like 10 minutes a day." Just be interactive and connect to people and say hi and like a couple things and comment. So we'll get to that tactic here in a few minutes. But we want you to understand the concept that we build communities all the time. And again, sometimes we have people in very rural areas that have about 150, 200 connections. And we have people that have 2,000 plus connections, and we activate them all at different levels. And it's true that with mobile devices today, more than we've ever seen before, we have the opportunity to be in touch with our community. And some of us are old school. Have any of you been where you're like sending out the magnets and the calendars and the things like that? It's great. Here in Chicago, I have some of my realtor friends who send me my Cubs schedule. It's a magnet on my fridge and things like that. Those are good. We still want you to be integrated and doing things like that that are working for you, but now this is sort of, you know, the new magnet, if you will, on people's fridge. So we want to make sure we're speaking to the people that are tuned in. And don't forget, this is where all the eyeballs are. The eyeballs are on their mobile device. In fact, I just crack up. You know, we're right here by Michigan Avenue and Navy Pier, and I literally take pictures sometimes where 80 or 90% of the people, their heads are down looking at their device while they're walking. It just baffles me. I get caught up in it too. So we know that they're on their phones, they're in their social media sites. And so as I'm sitting there, like at my daughter's softball tournaments, I look down and all the moms have iPads out and the dads have their cell phones out, and while the girls are on the field practicing, they're actually down on their Facebook and their Pinterest accounts and things like that, as well as on their mobile devices. So this is where we want to get. We want to get your business and your listings and things like that in front of them so that they pop up and they see that you're that expert in their community. Now, social networks, we already know. You guys are connected. A lot of you guys are connected to NAR. There's a big conference in San Francisco. I was just talking to all my folks out there. So the National Association of Realtors. But like I mentioned, there's chambers. There's investor clubs. What clubs or social networks, not online, do you guys belong to now? I just want to see the variety here. So are you guys really working the chambers? Are you working network groups, meetup groups? Type into the questions area. Tell me what your, you know, social networks or groups are you plugged into. Community theater, I love that one. Chamber, meetup groups. Knights of Columbus, yes, that's a very good one. CFC, oh, Chamber of Commerce. Cycling, yeah, cycling groups, right? Running groups, Rotary, senior action centers, churches, PTOs, fraternity, alumni, sports, community, yes, theater, you guys are on this. I love it. Book clubs, that's another one. Yeah, church, right on. Bunko, there you go. I love it. See, personal interest, tying it together. Those are social networks, yes. And so as you write these here with us, make a note of them, write them down, because those are also exist online. So where you have like, oh, dance, that's a good one. So, you know, so you have things like that. We want to get that into your profile so people feel the social element of who you are, and then you can also connect to the groups, not just in LinkedIn. You can do this on Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest, right? They all have, a lot of them really have good groups online. And this is how you can wire yourself socially as well as from a business perspective. And you guys get the game. You're typing all these in, but please make sure that you search on LinkedIn and Facebook and your social networks to do this. Now, really what we're doing is we're building trust. We want to know that whether it's referral-based or it's coming out of your network, that people trust you and find you, right? That's at the end of the day, we're building a trusted network, a trusted pipeline to these connections that we have, and that's what the game is all about. So when we look at our networks, right, because we are social networks, so Steve and Tiffany and Vicky, all you guys are social networks. So think about what that looks like. So that is really, really, really an interesting and very profound thing, okay? So if you open your phone, if you open your inbox or your outbox in terms of your email, you look at your social interaction points, that is completely wired. That is completely wired to the business that you're doing today. That shows, you know, that is a direct reflection of your volume of business in closings that you are having right now is a reflection of this network, okay? And we're going to teach you how to connect and activate it. And I see a lot of our Social Jack students logging in, and that is what that program is all about, is how to activate and be in relationship and score that network even higher, so that you don't just have 20% of your network referring you have 30%, 40%. You can get to that higher level. Now, some of you, our regular students, have seen this, but we want to get you to these outer layers, because a lot of you are good with emails and direct mail and newsletters and things like that, and that is this very one-to-one marketing. So this is where Dean adds Sue. But the social element and the real sort of depth that social networks have taken us, like Facebook, is taken us to the second and third degree of having communication in this outer layer and having these people come in through searching and finding us. And we're going to show you some of those elements that you can update today in your Facebook, and you can take it to that element where you pop up and get found, because there's two things. Write down these two things. The number one thing, right, is how you structure the content on your social networks, right? So the way you put in your listings, the way that you, the way that you have your profile set up, which we'll talk about here in a minute. That is one of the most amazing things. I have people that don't even have like a lot of connections, but they really pop up all the time, and they organically build 1, 2, 3 people a week, but they are getting referrals that right in along with that growth. So they don't need 2,000 people. Right? They get enough referrals in volume and ratio that it is amazing. I had one person that had under 50 connection and was getting a referral a day, right, out of their Facebook. So just keep that in context of these layers that you cannot see, right? And we'll show you how to reach those layers. So think about our networks being very targeted and these relationships out here being wired into us and coming in as referrals. If everyone's getting this, I want to make sure I'm not losing any, but just say, yes, I get it. Okay, I know that there's layers that I cannot see that I can be in front of, right? And so we want you to really get this, okay? Because we're going to teach you how to reach this. Now, here's the cool thing about the numbers, right? So we have more than 1 billion active users. I mean, we are tracking the pulse of these users in terms of what they're doing, what they're clicking on, and their patterns of behavior. And the number one thing is they are paying attention to what their friends like, right? What their friends are doing. It's all about this social aspect. It just amazes me. There's like, sometimes I wonder if there's an independent thought, because we see people share things so much and connect through other people. It's exciting. So, and scary. Right. Yes, what about adding folks like Richard Branson to your social circles? We're going to take that at the end. We will address some of these. I want to stay on curriculum, and then we'll definitely talk about some of the power hubs and things like that. So good questions coming in. Thank you, Martin, on that. So you just look at the amount of content, right? 60 million status updates every day, 3 billion photos posted and uploaded each month. It's a lot of content, right? And more importantly, we want to make sure it's connected to the people. So on 20 minutes a day on Facebook, and I see a lot of our students in here, they know that they know how to work their 20 minutes a day. We give them very specific activities, right? There's 1 million, links shared. That's where you have a link, right? 20 minutes a day. There's, 1.4 million event invites. So whether it's an open house or whatever it is, there's could be a buyer's seminar, whatever. It's 1.4. 2.7 million photos uploaded, 2.7 million messages sent, things like this. So there's a lot of things that happen in that 20 minutes. Okay, so we want to, just like billboards, we want to get our billboard in front of the eyeballs, right? Now, the one thing that makes Facebook a little bit different, some of you have been in our Twitter classes and our Pinterest classes, Google Plus and YouTube and LinkedIn classes, but one of the things that makes it a little different is it has that more casual feeling to it. Right? It's not as polished and formal, although we still want to be professional. So when we think about this, we think about like it's like the party in the park or the backyard barbecue analogy of making sure that it has that feel, yet it can still be integrated. And one of the places that you can go to track sort of demographics and comparisons is quantcast.com, QUANTCAST.com, that allows you to actually see, especially in your area, because we have like I said, we have like all 50 states on with us today, and we have some other countries on with us today. What's going to be different is how people react and respond. And you want to look at your ideal target. So some of you, maybe you do commercial and residential. Some of you maybe only do residential. Some of you might just do high-end homes. Some of you might do condos and not do condos. So there's different patterns of the way that we attract people or that we are with people. Right? So that is extremely important. So when we think about that, we want to make sure that we have, we're really catering to that audience. So make sure you pay attention to that. Now, we also want to make sure that you have your business voice. So some of you are funny. I was looking, and some of you have some really funny things. A couple of you had like a joke of the week, and some of you use quotes. Some of you are more on the serious side of things. And so when we look at what that looks like, it gives us sort of an interesting gives us an interesting perspective of who you are. And I mentioned that somebody mentioned dance, right? So you just take the personal element of who somebody is, and yes, we see the real estate, but we really care about is that connection to the person. Right? So if all you're doing is posting listing, 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 and we don't get to know you, then you're basically Zillow. You know, you're basically a site just to post listings out there. We want to know that you know the neighborhood. We want to know that you know everything about the area that we're building on, and we want to get to know you. Right? So if we're going to come to you, we really want to get to know you. So when you're wiring your community, whether it's 50 or 5,000 people that you're connected to, we want to make sure that you're sort of taking it to that level and incorporating that personal side of who you are. And some of you are on it, and a lot of times I think we just forget that because we get anxious with the amount of time that we have, and we just want to get a post up there, and we're not as connecting and personal as we need to be. Now, when we look at timelines, right, there's some very specific things in the way that, this is structured in terms of Facebook. Yes, so yeah, right. Yeah, Richard makes a good statement, right? Because we have a lot of commercial real estate folks, and it's a little differently operated than residential real estate. Yet, there's still social connections and relationships. So we have a lot of commercial folks as well as residential, and we have some that are mixed. So, and we have some people, I was talking to a group this morning that just does land. You know, that's a whole market in itself in terms of real estate. So yes, but we still always want to have that social element to it. But let's talk about Facebook and what it looks like. Okay, actually, let's just give you some semantics in terms of how the page is structured. Okay, so we have the top, which is the cover image. So when we say cover image, it's this cover image up top, and we're going to get into these in a little more detail here in a minute. Number 2 is the profile picture. This picture here is the one that represents you on every single post, and we're going to give you some best practices there. Number 3 is the timeline, right? So you see the timeline here where you can go back as far to the point that you've joined Facebook or that you've listed yourself on Facebook. We have the About section here in number 4, so when we reference this. And yes, you guys will get access to all these slides. You know, that's the next question that always gets asked when we get into detail. But take some notes, too. Along the way. 5 is apps. So we develop apps all the time. So we develop listing apps and mortgage calculators and contest apps and you name it. So there's an app for it, or there's an app to be developed. And so we'll have different apps in here depending on what your need is, right? So Richard, you're in commercial. You might have a different need, right, than a residential person for certain apps. So we have listing integrators. I can't, more than I can imagine. I noticed Joe joined us, so we'll be able to cover that at the end of today's session and talk a little bit deeper if you have specific questions like, can I do this in Facebook? And it is amazing how much people don't think that they can do in Facebook. But Facebook is basically like a template that's attached, or a website that's attached to like 1 billion people. And you just have to figure out how to leverage the website and 1 billion people. And what the apps do is they activate it. We have highlights, right? Number 6, you can have featured things and highlights that go across your page. So you can have we say something about a content mix or a posting ratio of making sure that based on your audience and the retention that you actually take a sequence of posts that really fit a ratio of how your audience wants to digest things. So it might be social, news, impact, and then call to action. So you want to have a ratio based on how you've conditioned your audience or how your audience works out. So anyway, that is one of those things that you want to make sure you have that decent ratio. 7 is composer. This is where you're writing things, asking questions, setting milestones, putting pictures up, and things like that. They call that the composer. Number 8 is where you can pin a post to the top. Yes, we're using both. Business pages are coming up right here. So I'm just trying to give you some context, but yes, you're using both. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. Okay, and then number 9 is friend activity. So now let's talk about the 5 steps to attracting buyers and sellers using Facebook. Okay, and we're going to show you that there's both sides to this game. Okay, so we have the Facebook for Business page as well as we have the Facebook personal page. Now, I'll make some distinctions here in the 5 steps. But what we're talking about is attracting people to us. So here you see the Baird & Warner real estate page. Now, this is a business page, right? So this is where they have apps on here. They have like contests. They have a Chicagoland tour. They have photos and things like that, right? So now, so now what you want to do is make sure that you follow some of the basic principles. We want you to be clear. I went on and in some cases I wasn't clear with the picture that you had on top and the about section and the description, and so I want to make sure that you're super clear. So here's some rules and guidelines. What will you do for others, right? Do you know neighborhoods better than anybody? Right? Do you know your market better than anybody? Like, what is your value proposition? And then give us some evidence. Like I won the top producer award last year. It's okay to talk about that stuff, and we're going to show you some places to put that. But we want to make sure that you get all that evidence in there of who you are and why you're the best at what you do. What do you want? What do you need? I'm looking to really help people that are looking for new homes. I'm really great at helping people relocate to a new area. Think about like as if you're at the chamber or you're at these groups that you get in front of, and people say, well, what do you do? What are you really good at? And usually you want to condense that down to like an elevator pitch. And especially in social, people are on a mobile device, and when they're searching and you pop up, you want to make sure that you're very crisp and clear. And you can put words up in your cover photo as well. In fact, I'll talk about some strategies here in a few minutes that are really highly effective in this too. And then what value do you provide? Now, your profile picture here, if you have a business page, right, and you're representing an entire business, you would want your logo, right, just like, let's see if I can get this here, just like the B&W here for Baird & Warner is here. Every time they do a post, they go to that level. Now, if you are a broker and you want to represent your business page and your personal page, you might have your photo so you're highly recognized in both networks, right, so that you can have that. Now, some of you have a large enough brokerage where you have a logo that you want to brand and have people recognize. So then you would create a mix. You would have this, like the KW, the Keller Williams logo on your business page, and you would have your photo here on your personal page, right? And you're working both sides of that network. Does that make sense? So now your face is showing up as well as Keller Williams, and then we always encourage you to cross-post, cross-connect. Well, if we have time at the end, we'll cover that specifically. So now, we want to make sure that the photo looks good and it's resized and it's really making you look good. So now this follows you around, and this is your footprint. It's like your business card, right? So people just recognize you. And I would say that if you work for a large organization, that you create your own brand, right? In case you move around, you haven't left the entire town with, this brand. And it really depends on if the company's building pages for you or if you're building your own pages. Now, the real interesting thing is combining this, right? So you combine the profile picture and the cover image, it should look good together. Now, what you will want to do is that if you have, sort of the Keller Williams example here, and you have something that you want to talk about in your cover photo, you will probably want to make sure that you are represented in this cover photo. Now, one of the new rule changes that they have is you were not able to put a call to action, like ask somebody to do things or tell somebody to do things in this cover photo. That has changed. In fact, there is a strategy where we have clients that we represent that you can change this cover photo every week, every month. Every time you change this, it tells the entire network, right? It goes out to your entire network and says, hey, you know what, Sandy Shearer changed her cover photo. Sean Barber changed his cover photo, right? So all of a sudden you have this whole thing where it's telling the network, and you know what? People are attracted to photos. That's part of a strategy of getting people to actually look at your page, is to rotate your billboard, is to rotate your cover photo. right? Just don't set it and forget it. You have the opportunity. Now, some of you work with compliance departments. We work with banking and mortgage, and sometimes it goes a little slower because you have to get the compliance to approve everything. But on the real estate side, we have a little more flexibility sometimes where we can just have, you know, decent, well-done cover art, and we just rotate that up and change it up. And we always recommend to have 6 or 8 pieces developed ahead of time so that you can keep rotating them. Okay, and then obviously, you know, your apps integrate with that too. So step 1 is to really look good. That's the bottom line here. So we want you to be really, really clear, really crisp, really, you know, this is CAR, Chicago Association of Realtors, where they are highly social and they have education and things like that. So they show a Chicago home, they show people, they show the skyline, you know, the night, you know, the Mag Mile, and some iconic Chicago things that are going on. Now, step 2 is to make sure that you set up correctly. So when you go into the setup, right, you go into edit page, you have a couple of places in the admin panel. And again, this is on the business page. So you go into the edit the business page, you can go into the admin panel and set other admins, and then you can go into build audience. These are 2 areas you should be highly familiar with. In fact, if you go to our detailed you know, 2-day class on Facebook, or watch our videos, you'll see we dig into these in far more time than we have to now. But let's highlight some of the things in the setup that are probably the most important. First and foremost, if you're going to be on your page all the time, you would adjust your posting ability, visibility, and tagging ability, because you would allow people to do things because you were actually tuned in to that page. Okay, for example, you know, like on Forward Progress, everyone can post to the Forward Progress timeline. Everyone can add photos and videos to our timeline. However, we get notified and we watch our page all the time. But if you're not logging in but once a week, you want to maybe restrict some of this ability for people to do things. And you can create other block lists so that you can have like a profanity block list, and you can have, we really haven't seen too much of an issue of that in most cases until your network gets about, you know, above 2,000 or 3,000, where you don't really know all the people that are in there, and you just might have some unsavory characters. You can also have age restrictions and things like that, but think about your audience. And when you do set up your page, think about what you want to have, you know, what you want them to take part of. Now, some of you are still building your page or haven't built your page. You said that earlier today. In doing this, you can unpublish your page now. You didn't used to be able to do that. So that means that only the admins can see the page, work on it, and then you can republish your page. So when we build a lot of pages, we get approval first, and then we take it to that next level. So does this make sense? Cool. Okay. So so that's sort of the Facebook page. The other thing is we talked about keywords a little bit, but we just did a group out on the East Coast, and you know, as we talked about Philadelphia and certain neighborhoods around Philadelphia, wanted to make sure that they were well represented. Well, when you go into the setup and you go into basic information, you can pick and choose, right, all your different keywords. So you have description, you have general information, you have different areas and things like that that you can list in here. Well, this should be all your keywords. So just give me your #1 keyword. So I know you're all in real estate, so let's forget about that one. But do you have like a top metro area that you represent, or a certain style of real estate? Type that into the questions area. I just want to see how much diversity we have in here. Okay, besides the word real estate, right, real estate broker, give me your neighborhood. Yeah, Triangle area, Asheville, High Rock Lake. I love the sound of that. Seniors, yeah, DuPage Homes, North Virginia, Northwest Wyoming, Fairfax County, Coachella Valley. Auctions, yes, Metro West. That's cool. Polk, Burnett counties, right? So you guys are getting this. Boulder County. Make sure that you have that. And so, you know, I wish we had more time to spend on keywords, but HUD, there you go. HUD, Western North Carolina, Boulder County. So you want to do is you want to create this. Now the challenge comes in, just like Chicago, you have hundreds, right? Foreclosures, there's another one. You have hundreds of neighborhoods, and what's really tough is to get found on everything. Let your website do that. Let's pick the top 10, top 25 things that you want to specialize in, or neighborhoods. Make sure that they get into the content, because now Facebook, see if I can bring it up here, has, let's see, yeah, so Facebook has this whole new search engine here, right? So the search engine where people can type in, and it's all been redone. So what we want to do, yes, it should not be, no, your keywords should not only be geographical. So we had foreclosures, HUD, first-time home buyers, auctions, right? What you want to do is when you're putting these keywords in here and they appear in your business page, you want to make sure that you think about how people, yes, second homes, vacation homes, what are people typing in to find you? This is what people forget. And when we're bringing clients on board, we spend a lot of time making sure that we massage the right number of homes, because, or the right number of words together, because what happens is there's all these people that are typing in. Yeah, Joe just popped in here, Naperville foreclosure homes. This is what people are typing in, right? So they're not typing in just the word foreclosure. They're not just typing in Naperville. They're typing in Naperville foreclosure homes, right? And we'll, if we have time at the end here, we'll go into a little more deeper. But please, if you haven't done a keyword analysis, make sure that you spend the time to work on that, because this is the juice. This is where, and your content that you attach. So when you're attaching Pinterest pictures or YouTube videos, you should be, you know, especially with your listings, you should be putting all this content into, you know, all those keywords into that content. Otherwise, it's just wasted. It's only in the moment. It's only in the people that are seeing it past their phone. But if you want to wire the world, right, to that content, you want to make sure you get you know, you get everything put into the content as well as into the profile. So does everybody get this a little bit? I know it's tough to grasp all of it, but we're really trying to get you sort of some easy steps to bite into and to work on here. Okay, step 3, right, is training the team, and so that's why it is so important. That's why we include our Social Jack training with every client, because we believe you can't learn enough, because it's changing all the time, and there's new techniques and new apps and new features that open up all the time, that if we don't stay tuned in, the competitors are going to just jump all over it. Right? So we have some of you that are doing promoted posts. We'll talk about those in a minute, but you have to learn how to do them. You can't just jump in and make a few clicks and hope for the best. There's a complete strategy where you can spend less time and less money to actually do that. Okay? Right, yeah, so the search feature capabilities are, you know, so the question is, Ryan has a good question. So the search feature capabilities are on those keywords now, not just the title of each page, correct? And so the internet actually indexes in there as well. So Google, right? So Google's the main search engine. We should say Google. But yes, the internet as well. So good question, Ryan. And we'll take some of these questions. We have Joe on with us, who's our search engine marketing specialist, as well as oversees all the app development on Facebook here. And like I said, we have some folks standing by for the questions at the end. Okay, so in our training, we look at the 20 minutes a day. So we look at, you know, the posts that you should have. We have things called friend diving, and we have a Facebook professional page promo, you know, where we actually weave that into the promotion. So we can't go into all that now, but the idea here is just gauge yourself for 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. What are you going to produce from it? Are you going to generate a listing? You know, what is your intent? And make sure that you block what your intent is, right, for that, you know, for that particular item. You know, are you filling, do you have an upcoming, we have a whole team that has an upcoming auction. Everything, all hands on deck, the intent should be to fill that auction or get more listings for that auction, for example. So it depends. Are you a buyer's agent, a listing agent, a commercial agent? What is your intent? My commercial people, you guys are always doing deals, right? You're always looking for the best appointments. You're looking for investors, right? You're looking for the best commercial properties. So you're meeting with banks and REO groups and things like that. So portfolio people. So that's what your 20 minutes should be, right? Connecting to that side of your network. So again, you know, I don't want to get too deep on that, but you want to always set an intent in the time that you're online. Now, step 4 is connecting. This is one where everybody is like connect, 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 okay? So invite your friends, invite your email contacts. Make sure that when you get your page name, it goes at the bottom of every email as part of your signature. So many people forget this. I get like, you know, and even in your mobile phone, you know, that my top agents, my top producing agents, right? So my top producers, right? The people that are putting in their bank account, you know, 500,000 a year plus, right? Have their link everywhere. They have it in their mobile signature. They have it everywhere because they're attracting people to say, hey, I keep you informed here. Okay? They put it up on Facebook, right on their Facebook page. They link it in their LinkedIn page. All right, so they wire that Facebook page all over the place. If they print anything, and you guys do a ton of print, we do a ton of print services and integrated services with real estate. You guys have all those flyers sitting out in front of the home, things like that. You know, your QR codes, they should always have a way to get back to that Facebook page. Okay, and put it everywhere. But the connecting is you should, everywhere you go, you should be, you know, the tabletop at the chamber. Write these things down, right? The tabletop at the chamber. That sign should have your, hey, connect to us on Facebook. We'll keep you informed. Right? And then promote it. We're going to see if I have time to show you. Oh, yes, here we go. So we can promote it after. I'll show you the promoting thing here in a minute. So let's talk about connecting. So in the two simple things you can do on a regular basis is to build your audience. One, invite your friends. So now on your business page, you know, every 30 days, invite new prospects and clients or friends that you have by just clicking on this, and it'll show you everybody that you have that's a personal connection that is not on your business page. You should do that every 30 days. Put it in your calendar, make it a reoccurring appointment. 1st of the month, 15th of the month, just same time every month. Second is you should share your page once in a while with the rest of your network and see if you have partners, like a lot of mortgage folks and real estate folks and financial people and title companies, they work together. So ask if you can share your link on their pages. Some do, some don't, but ask, right? And then you can always promote your page as well. And then every time you send out emails or you get new people in your database, load up and have a nice template that goes out to everybody, okay? Now step 5 is probably the most important, because whether you use our services or you're working this on your own, you need to have some level of interaction. Let me give you some top interaction points. Now, we know that people move a lot faster once they get to know us. We get them on the phone. We're all closers, right? So everybody a closer, say, yes, I'm a closer. So we want to make sure everybody understands that you're a closer. So when you get to this, don't get hung up, you know, don't get hung up online. Some people, they get hooked, right? And so they get caught up in this dialogue online, which is cool, but 2 exchanges maximum, right? Yes, we all love to close. So 2 exchanges maximum, then transfer them offline. Get them on the phone. Say, hey, do you have time for a quick call? Because obviously you're typing in here. You know, we have some great conversion points as part of our class, but just get them off the phone. In fact, we take more people out of chat and onto the phone than anybody on the planet. You know, that's one of the games, you know. But when you're in an exchange and you're having a conversation, the comments are flowing. I don't care if it's on your page, on a group, on your personal page in chat. Convert them, you know, offline. Get them on the phone, right? So you'll see here where you have an opportunity to just have, you know, here you have this gorgeous historic, you know, this listing on here, and then you talk about the success. You know, that's the other thing. So now all of a sudden you can talk about not just the listing that you have, but celebrate the success. Yes, just celebrated another close. A lot of you just claim that you're a closer. Right? You just typed in there, you said, I'm a closer. Yes, I am. We'll celebrate those closings and then get a picture. People are so happy when they get the keys, right? When you give them the keys, get them on your phone and say, hey, could you say a couple words about the experience that we had together? And then post that right up and put that on your page, right? That creates engagement. And ask them, say, hey, can I connect you on Facebook? Cool. Can I tag you in this photo? You know, you have all kinds of cool opportunities there. And don't forget how many people are looking at this, right? How many people are looking at this? This is huge. So the other way you can generate likes and build your targeted audience is to advertise for it. So you can run ads Or you can run promoted posts. Let's go back to this. So you can run ads or you can run promoted posts. So write that down. This is not an advertising class, but I just want to give you routes to be able to get there. Okay, so depending on your budget, what do you have? 200 bucks a month, 100 bucks a week, 50 bucks a week. What do you have to actually run a promotion, right? To get, to get people, to your listings for your specific target. In fact, Facebook has so much data that you can get everybody that, if it's moms with certain number of kids that buy your type of property, you can get dialed down that much, right? Some of you guys were typing very specific areas of the country. So again, you want to make sure that you wire that down, right? You nail that down. So think about what that looks like for you. Now, I want to try to get, we're going to run a poll here. I just want to know how many leads are you generating per week. I just put a poll up, and it's not in the questions area, but it's popping up on your screen. So those of you that are on your other screens, I see some of you are either off of our screen. You just click on that little flower down below. But show that it's 100% on your screen, and so just click on that little blue box. And how many leads are you generating per week? I just want to see where we're coming in at. So most people are in, Bridget, if you could just click on the, there should be a blue box on your screen with a radio button. There you go, you got it. So 71, so most people are 1 to 5 per week, and this is, I've got to close this poll off, but I just want to show you where everybody's at here. So let's close this out. And so with almost 50, we have a big group, and we are global here. So with almost 50% voted, we have 70% 1 to 5, 19% 6 to 10. Now, those are leads, right? Now it's interesting when because we track leads all day long, right? So we track leads all day long. What you want to try to look at is not just count the leads, but count the referrals, right? So the referrals are the juice in here, and this is where social networks take it up to that notch. So let's talk about a couple of ways to work together to make this happen, because the result is when people type things in that you show up to the top, and you're trying to beat out people that are paying for ads, right? And you're trying to beat out people that are bigger than us, right? Zillow, and we're Trulia, and we're up against those folks. So let's talk to you about how, maybe some tips of how to do this. So first and foremost, write down any of these tips that you're not doing, right? Place it in your email signature, place, and link to your websites, right? Link your other social network sites together, once you do your keywords, place on all signage, partner with others, and anywhere you can, okay? And we'll send you these slides too. Now, what if you could have, right, the ultimate partnership here, your social media profiles are developed and optimized to drive more leads, right? So if you're getting 1 to 5, you want to get to the 6 to 10, the 11 to 20, right? But you want to come up on search engines even higher than you are today. Your social media sites are actually working together to help you convert leads into closings. The resources and training, right, to convert more sales through your social network. So what we did is we put together the ultimate package, like at the most affordable price on the planet possible that we could find. The Social Media Mega Pack, right? And you can go to socialmediamegapack.com, but what we're doing is we're combining the service of putting posts and blogs up every single day. Not just posts, but blogs. Now, blogs are part of the search engine marketing that drive this to the top. We study mortgage and real estate more than any other business on the planet. We know how competitive it is. And so what we do is we have this Social Jack platform that wires your people together and teaches you how to take your 1, 2, 3, 4 referral sources in your network and make it 40 referral sources in your network. We call it the ID40, the ID40 team, right? And so we combine that with the power of us putting content out there for you. And we have over 100 instructional videos on converting social media marketing and social networking to new deals, right? So we want to make sure that we give you the best of the best. So we have this set up where it's currently 45% off. And this isn't lasting because we're bundling the two systems together. And so what you do is you basically go to socialmediamegapack.com. And this price will not hold, I promise you, because we're bundling this, our two systems together, our two most powerful systems. We've had over 80,000 people coach and train with us, right? And as far as I know, no complainers, okay? They really love our coaching and training. Number two, we post and blog, right? Over 10,000 post and blogs a month. Yes, we have teammates that do specialize in real estate, right? So for 90, and yes, we're going to answer some specific questions at the end here. So with $97 down and $97 a month, right, you get all these features. Let me just actually go to the site here for you. So in the Social Media Mega Pack, you go to socialmediamegapack.com. You go here and you get all these features in terms of your social media sites built and optimized. Marketing your business, right? Advanced real estate marketing, training and coaching, right? $97 a month, $97 down. You also can go to the Top Producer Plus. Now the difference here is that you get a blog site, right? With a lead form so that you can actually generate leads. Some of you don't have websites. Some of you do have websites. Some of you, a lot of you didn't have a blog site. And the blog site is active content being posted every single day. And then what we do is we shoot it out on 30 additional social network sites. And that's only $197 a month. It's like having a personal marketing assistant. So basically all these sites are like having billboards all over the internet, right? We post things on all these sites for you, and what we're offering now is not just that, but also the ability, right? Also the ability to get all the coaching and training that you and your team can digest. Yes, we're using WordPress. We definitely use WordPress. Okay, and then some people want a personal marketing assistant. That's our Top Producer Premium package. And that is currently 40% off too. So you go, or 45% off. You go to the site, and we are taking those prices down, right? So from $179 a month, you're paying only $97 a month, and there is a one-time $97 setup fee. You go to Top Producer Plus, $379 a month, right? It's down to $197 a month. That includes all the blogging. You get a blog a day. Yes, we'll be managing all your social media. We set up Facebook, Twitter, Google, Plus, Zillow, Trulia, Pinterest, LinkedIn, right? We set up these accounts for you, right? And some people want, where's my favorite one? Where's that listing thing, Joe? It's got to be on here somewhere. But yeah, the new listing accelerator in Pinterest. Those of you, we have a ton of people jumping on this. Now, this budget isn't for everybody. You can work your way up, right? But for $97 down, you can start it with the Leader package, or you go to the Top Producer Plus package. We're always running specials for those of you that want to try and move up to this package. But if you're getting one closing a month, right? Yes, well, Joe can answer a couple of these questions. We're going to have Joe on here in a few minutes. But with the Top Producer Premium package, right, you get a meeting, you get a personalized marketing assistant. So how many deals do you need? How many closings do you need a month to pay for the $97 a month, right? I mean, that's easy. I mean, one a month. Yeah, how many do you need to do $197 a month? One a month. How many do you need to do $497 a month? One a month, right? So there you go. So you have the ability to have us take the burden. Now, we want you to play with us. That's why we're giving you all the coaching and training. So you can either watch the videos, you can come to the weekly coaching. I didn't even mention that. We're giving you option to come to the weekly coaching as part of Social Jack. You have weekly group coaching where you ask whatever questions you want. Yeah, oh, and if you already have these accounts, well, we're optimizing all your accounts, Aris, so we're actually rebuilding these accounts for you. We understand that a lot of people have them, they're just not optimized. So when we were doing a lot of the searching, yes, so, yeah, right. We don't want you to create content. We want to create the content for you. We just want you to jump in from time to time throughout the week and engage with us online with you. We want you to show up, so that's a great question. So let's take some questions that we had throughout today's program, and then I just want to make sure I included everything here. Yes, so we give you access to all the classes. So with that being said, it is socialmediamegapack.com. socialmediamegapack.com. Can I cancel? Let's see. Okay, so let's take some of these. All right, so let's take some of these questions. Here we go. All right, so Joe can see the questions. Right now, Joe needs to be an organizer, Stephen. Hold on, let's get Joe as an organizer. I want Joe to be able to see these questions. So Joe, you're on with us too. So let's make sure we have Joe. Joe, I've unmuted you too in case I need some help on these questions. Okay. So how do I know what we'll be posting? I don't know if I'm comfortable with not being in control. So Joe, do you have any thought on that or comment on that?
Well, what we can do is there's two options. If you want to see, we have a sample site that has months worth of posts every day that are all real estate and mortgage driven and updates, financial reports driven. We could show folks that sample site and say, wow, I've looked at 90 of the last posts. They all seem totally in line with what I'd be okay with. So yeah, it's okay to be on autopilot. But if they still want to have us post in what we call draft mode, we can still post every day, and then they have the opportunity to go in to their blog that we've set up for them and choose whether to publish each of those that we've posted in draft mode.
Right, and one of the things to keep in mind is in this Top Producer Premium, these are custom branded posts. So we have a lot of folks that are on this. Well, think about it. If you engage with us and you have an office and you want to have your team on here with us for only $4.97 a month, you guys are rocking and rolling because basically we are very specific. So you give us your listings, we load up to a listing a day up there for you, and we optimize it on the internet. We use Pinterest and all kinds of cool tools. So a lot of offices are using this because they're already spending this money somewhere else, but they're not getting found and it's not getting leveraged. And then we wire those listings to all your other social network sites and your blog site. I mean, there's nothing like it. People that are doing this one it's really revolutionary. So those of you that want, really get to that custom level, because a lot of you are saying, what about my branding? What about my customization? That's what we do at the higher level. So, and with your blog site, and we get really into a full custom blog site at this higher level too. So this is really a more of a micro site. It's probably not even fair to call it a blog site. We have a question in here. In terms of adding people to your social circles, the goal of being, followers will see your content, is what about adding folks like Richard Branson and things like that? Well, if you think about it, with your social network, a lot of people are not really at that level maintaining those networks. So it's pretty much a different type of game there where you're connecting. But I do agree with connecting to hubs, so all your local chambers and things like that you should be wired to. Another question is here, and this is a common question because we do actually a makeover most of the time because a lot of you already have sites, but they need to be rebranded or tweaked or rebuilt. They need new cover art. And so what we do is we help you build out those sites or beef up those sites to make sure now that you're keyword optimized. So you fill out an intake form, right? It's real easy. You go to the site, you click on Start Now. When you click on Start Now, this little form pops up, right? You put in your first name, last name, right? And you put in your phone number so we can get a hold of you, and then you put in your email address. And we're very secure. You pick your package, right? And you say that you've read the terms of service, and basically you go in, and you put in your credit card, and then we'll take you through an intake form, and then one of our account managers will connect with you, and you'll be guided into the rest. So it's really that easy. Step 1, give us your info. Step 2, we build or update your profiles, and Step 3, we post for you daily. So it's literally that easy. Yes, we do this. I'm sorry, do we do this? Let's see. Yes, we'll do the new logo, new look, new branding, Richard, but we're not rebuilding the whole company. We're really just jump-starting you on the social side. But if you want to contact us on this Top Producer Premium, we do websites and things like that all the time. Yeah, so we do differently other than other companies offering similar features. So what do we do differently than other companies offering similar features? I'm going to let Joe. Joe is in the engine room. So, Joe, you know, because we compare our competitors all the time. So, and we believe we don't have competitors, but I'd love to hear Joe's response on this. So go for it, Joe.
Right. I appreciate you having me on here today because there's so much exciting stuff to talk about. So I try and keep Dean up to speed on all the new features we're adding and enhancements, and usually he goes into information overload and just tells me to stop talking like he did this morning. So now's my opportunity to kind of explain some of this stuff. The main difference is that a lot of competitors will say, oh, we're going to be posting relevant content for you. But how good really is that content? So I think if you were to look at some of our example sites, you'll find that the real estate driven content is good, and it's actually good enough and great that a lot of folks subscribe to it. A lot of folks that you have subscribed that are your contacts, clients, past clients that read even one article will probably subscribe and want to get your updates every day because they like the content. So it's the quality of the content, but more so we're tying in a lot of SEO type stuff into this, and a lot of you probably have at least heard the term backlinks. So as part of Package 2 and Package 3, the Top Producer Plus, Top Producer Premium, we're building a total of 30 social network site profiles. And that sounds kind of mind-boggling, but above and beyond your core, 4 or 5, there's a lot that exists out there like Tumblr and Blogger and even the old, MySpace that's being reinvented. And even though if you don't have a lot of folks that look at your profile on those sites, we syndicate or post every blog post that we're putting on your blog site and on your core sites, also on those what we call auxiliary social profiles, every single time. So imagine having 30 backlinks all pointing to this new blog site that we create for you every single day that we post a new blog. So all of that link juice, which is what we call it, helps increase your ranking and really get your message out there and your blog articles out there to the masses.
Yeah, and let's go back to what we talked about before, because that's huge. I know you call it link juice, but just to break this down, we talked about everybody had typed in, that they do foreclosures and Southwest Florida, and I mean they were talking about their different keywords. So Tiffany, to your point, you want to make sure that you get those in the profile. So what we do is we work on getting those into the profiles, because some people know how to do this, and some some people don't, and we have classes on this too. So you can go to socialjack.com and just subscribe to the classes if you want to learn how to do a lot of this stuff. However, when we work together, we know that a lot of you are busy, so this is why we came up with this, where we keyword optimize for your area these packages. We post for you in those areas, because you want that relevant content, and we want you to show up. So, that part's the ultimate partnership. However, by no means, we have a lot of people that just subscribe to the training and coaching that we do and then move it back to that next level. So let's take a couple of other questions. Let's see. You're hitting me too fast here, Stephen. I want them one at a time, please. How do I know what is the message that I have to transmit to my customers when discussing, so how do I know what is the message that I have to transmit to well, when you say message, message is you have sort of a business message or a brand, which is like your About Us section, and then you have the message in your you have the message in your content, and this is where we want to get the personality of your content flowing along with news-related items and content that has to do at that level. And we even encourage you, if you want to take blogging classes and things like that, we have a lot of clients that we put up a blog a day and they put up one a week, and so we get a good mix and flavor of the personality mixed in with the news that we put out there for you. Let's see, Joe, you could probably answer this better than me. Do you have different content for a broker office user versus an agent subscriber?
We do not delineate between those two types with our regular packages. We could go into, talking about some full custom stuff if you were to get the Top Producer Premium package. But one thing we can do to satisfy kind of the differences is some of the brand new SEO settings we have available built into every one of these sites. And this is something brand new that I started talking to Dean about this morning that we're rolling out. where if you're, in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that is, your focus, if you're focused on relocation, any of those great keywords and localization type aspects, we can now bake in to these sites in a deeper way, and also customize like the titles so they're specific to your type of office. So that's a brand new feature that we're rolling out now.
Yeah, and then here's another thing too. So like at the 497, as well as you guys can do this as you do the training, if you do some training as well, and just be careful, they were asking about promoted posts. So if we go to Facebook, and I'll just go to our page real quick. I just want to show people this, that in promoted post, if you want to push a post out to the world, right, just like we did, we pushed a post, Steve, or Joe, maybe you can read that next question that popped in while I'm talking about this. But so like in here, we talk about a class. Let's see, we have LinkedIn building workshop, right? Let's see if I can find this here. So we had 31,000 people see this post. Okay, well, what you can do is you can run not just advertisements, but you can do promoted posts. So you can take a listing that you have. Maybe you have a foreclosure, if you have something that's a short sale, or whatever it is that you're focusing on, and you can boost this to a certain audience. And so you can take $25, $50, and things like that. So when we're working with a lot of our clients, they have budgets that they give us and say, hey, I have $100 a month, and I'll give you a listing a week, and let's budget $25 a week for promoted posts. And those will be pushed out a little farther to those second and third layers, like what we told you. So, sometimes people have us do it, and sometimes people want to do it themselves, so we can coach and train you on it, or you can do it. But you can play with it to an experiment. It's just we're really about not wasting a lot of money, and we've got a lot of experience. You guys are good at real estate, and we're good at getting you to the top of Google and figuring out how to convert your network. So let's see.
I can check on
that
one.
Okay, good. So you got that. Next question. Go for it.
Sure. We get this quite often. We have a good solid content feed like this, but it is a feed. So this person asks, how do we avoid duplicate content, penalties with Google and stuff, and differentiating your blog site? And it kind of ties into what I was just talking about before with these different SEO fields or custom fields that we have baked in. So there's different levels of involvement that you can have with your site. If you want to be completely hands-off, you can know that we've at least taken the measures to keep your site in good graces with Google, and for it to be personalized and localized enough for your site to be specific to you and your business. Now, we have some folks that really get involved, and those are usually the folks that are pretty used to blogging themselves. Maybe you have a blog, but you haven't really been too active in it, but you still want to write some yourself, and we do encourage that. So for those folks, or for those that want to learn how to get deeper with this, have it really boost your rankings and stuff for your desired keyword phrases, we actually have now, we're going to start installing a very powerful SEO plugin called SEO Presser, which some of you may have learned about. We've paid big bucks for the developer license so that everyone can have that installed at no additional charge. It would normally cost you $50 to go out and buy it yourself. And what that does is enables those who do want to be more involved to go in and really fine-tune your posts so that you rank for exactly what you want to. So for example, if we have an article that came out today that says, the number of foreclosures are, dwindling, and the buyers are now, there's competing bids and the prices are going up, jump on now, that title might be, foreclosures inventory dwindling. And we may have a client in Scottsdale, Arizona who changed it to foreclosures in Scottsdale, Arizona dwindling, and all they do is just change a few things throughout the article to make it really specific to their local market and keyword phrases, so that when users are searching for foreclosures in Scottsdale, Arizona, now they have a much better probability that their article is going to show up. So to answer the question, we do a good number of steps to get you started and to have it run on autopilot and to stay in good graces with Google, yet we also have some powerful plugins included at no additional charge for those who want to take the bull by the horns and really take their site that we build to the next level.
Yeah, and one of the that's a good call. And then one of the questions that come in: what's the best training program if you want to work on SEO optimization yourselves? I would say join our socialjack.com program, and we have over 100 classes that are very specific to different platforms, as well as keywording, as well as blogging, and keyword optimization. And that's not just SEO; that's search engine marketing. And then you have weekly coaching sessions where you guys can come in and say, hey, I want to be known for this, this, and this in this area, and we can get very specific in those group coaching sessions, and those are once a week. So whether you choose one of these packages or you choose, you choose your socialjack.com, you have access to all that training. So
can I touch on one thing with that too?
Yep. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Two of the biggest buzz items right now for SEO and SEM is Google Places and Google Authorship. And a lot of you probably know what those are already. Google Authorship is when your blog post comes up in the search results, it's got your little picture next to it that it pulls from your Google Plus profile. So if you want to learn how to set all that stuff up and really start showing up high in the search results, we go over all that cool stuff in the weekly training sessions and in the recorded videos.
Yeah, so Corbin, hopefully that answers your question there. So Stephen, did we leave out any questions here? I want to make sure. I know we ran over a little bit, but we want to make sure that everybody's questions get answered. Okay. All right. Well, any other last-minute questions? Because we're about wrap this up, and then we'll get everybody a copy of the recording. So going once, going twice. We want to thank everybody for joining us. And again, that's socialmediamegapack.com. And also you get access to socialjack.com, and that's included with coaching and training, which includes 100 plus instructional videos, plus we're releasing tools all the time into that platform. So from all of us here at Forward Progress, we want to thank everybody, and we look forward to seeing you look amazing online. So watch your inbox for recordings, watch your inbox for slides, watch your inbox for all the goodies, and we will look forward to seeing you all online very soon. Take care.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will